Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's Danny Limelight. And I need all of you to subscribe to According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and all other platforms.
What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of talking to some of the fine folks that put together Fearless Woman MMA 7, better known as Fearless 7. We have David Denkin, AJ Jenkins, John Romero, Ryan Spink, Victoria Hernandez, and Elizabeth Stump LeBeau, and Fearless Woman MMA CEO, Libby Canela. Guys, what's going on?
What's up?
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Adam, where were you? You should have been in Mexico.
I should have been in Mexico, is what I'm saying. And apparently I can hear. So, yes, I should
That's
have been in
because I
Mexico.
scream.
Yes, this is true. This is true. He screams for ice cream. He screams for MMA, which a lot of us have been screaming for MMA and haven't been able to get our fix. But leave it to Libby Canela to kind of fix our fixes because she puts on not only Fearless 6 during the COVID situation, but also Fearless 7. So, my goodness.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
So yeah, I wasn't gonna just leave it to Dana White to entertain people. Had to start working. So
These are facts. These are facts, which Dana White is busy kind of putting $1 million on the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight. So, you know, time well spent, apparently.
I mean, if you have the dough, why not, right?
Not so much to pay the fighters, but definitely $1 million on the, on the Askren uh, Paul fight. So, kudos to that guy, I guess.
Yeah.
So how was it? Fearless 7, guys? Like, how does this all come about? Because I know with Fearless 6, there was a different crew, a different regulatory body that worked on it. So, Libby, is it you that contacts David or David
Um.
contacting you?
Well, it all started September of 2019 when AJ um actually told David. She was like, "Hey, how come I wasn't put in Fearless 6?" And that's when David was like, "Oh, you have to talk to her. That wasn't even part of us. That was somewhere in Mexico." And that's when the wheels started turning. That's when everything opened up. And I had no idea that, I mean, that people were interested in even just participating as an official. So then, we were all still training um, to not, keep our tools sharp. So it was just like an official training where, new regulations. This is what we're gonna do. Precaution. If we do open up with the state, this is what we're gonna be doing. And so that's where I met Big Surge. Tori was there, Beth was there, John was there, everybody was there, Ryan was there. We were all just training. And so on the next one, I wanted to take just a few, like I asked AJ and John and Julio to just be a referee. And then I called Chapa, Rogelio Chapa, I hope you're watching. Because he used to live across the street from me, but now he's no longer our neighbor, or my neighbor. And so he said, he goes, why don't you just ask David to run the whole event? And that's when everything happened. I was not planning to have, my camel family, but it ended up being the best decision for Fearless 7. Everyone in Mexico had such great feedback. They loved it. They knew that the judging was fair. They knew that they were in good hands with, professional officials that are under, California regulations and laws for combat sports. And so, I mean, I had nothing but the best. I had the best inspectors, best referees, best judges. There's Batiste, and so and the best like supervisor. So yeah. that's how it happened. Adam, we
Adam,
can't hear you.
Adam, we can't hear you.
Let me unmute myself. There you
There
go.
you, there you.
So, I mean, it's kind of cool to be in this endeavor and have your family along for the ride. Now, obviously, this hasn't been this particular crew. A lot of you have done international fights before. David, Victoria, Elizabeth, and Ryan. You guys went down for MMA Events Inc.'s show in Belize, right? The first ever MMA show in Belize. John and AJ were getting busy doing submission on the shore in Galveston, Texas. So it wasn't your first rodeo in these circumstances, but how is it? How is it different?
Um, well, honestly, it wasn't really different. It was similar to Belize. It was just another country. Um, and we went in there not thinking about what country we're in. We went in there thinking MMA, and we ran it just like we did if we were doing KO or Far Star or any of the other promotions. And it came together. And my team, which I invited to go with me, because when Libby asked me about it, I said, Libby, you know what? I don't mind, because initially it was to help teach those people that are living over there to kind of become their own organization, which apparently they've already put together the, I guess, the Comisión de Mexicana, which is a Mexican commission, and they've already legally have put documents to have such a commission. So we weren't going there as CSAC, CAM, or anything like that. We were going to become members of that commission and help. And we had shirts, as you can see in the photographs that were posted. And when I got there, when she asked me, I said the only way I could do this is if I bring my team, because I don't go and do shows anywhere. Belize, England, Africa, South America, I don't go without my team. I got people that I trust, that I know got my back, because we are not going to be, even though it's a like a camo show, we're not home. We're not camo. We're not home. We're visitors. And we got to make sure that when we get in and we get out. And even though, like I said, the people there were very cool, they were loving, they were nice, very, very, very nice. And I don't know if you've ever seen the show Big Brother's House, but that's what we felt like living together. We all lived in the same house, and it was pretty cool. It was a rated G version, no X. So we had a good time. Me and Libby were stealing Oreos from people, and it was fun. It was fun.
Who brought Oreos is what I'm saying to Mexico.
Who bought them, Libby?
I think it was Tori and Beth and AJ when they went to Walmart in Mexico. And I think Big Surge, it was actually, I think they were Big Surge's cookies.
They brought goodies, and we were all like, we looked like a bunch of hamsters trying to get our own share.
Hey, 10 points there. 10 points there. Now, I mean, AJ, how did you know about a Mexican Walmart? I didn't even know that existed until now. So, how does one know about such a place and how to get Oreos there?
Well, I didn't. Can you guys hear me? You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody
Yeah.
in the house knew about it, and I was like, "What? There's a Walmart?" I said, "Yeah, man, there's a Walmart, like 2 blocks down." So we made our way down there. It was an adventure every time, and I was able to find those Oreos right off the bat. I was like, "There they go." So we grabbed them and brought them back. I don't know. I think they're on like a list of snacks.
It was all about the tacos and Oreos.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, fam? Can you guys see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's Big
up?
Surge.
Sorry,
We stole Big
I had to
Surge's
sneak
Oreos.
away from the fucking loud ass crowd. As you can see, I'm in the motherfucking shitter right here, just trying to get some peace and quiet.
Yeah, that's a nice ass bathroom.
Hey, I'm telling you.
And Big Surge, you're in Florida, aren't you?
It's crazy. I don't see any of you guys. I can just hear you.
No, you must be. No worries. But I mean, you're in Florida right now, right? Probably not. Maybe. No.
I don't know if he can hear you.
No, I don't think so. No. But so obviously, I want to know from now. Milton Bird Johnson says, "What's up, fam?" So shout out to Milton Bird Johnson, and
Oh, I
it
see.
was me that brought the Oreos. He says, you know, my damn Oreos. So I guess
Saved
maybe
our life.
just saying.
Thanks, JR. Thanks. Good looking out.
Yep.
Hey,
And Jasmine Tap Out Queen Pouncy, somebody that we all know, we all love, says you guys are all the best. Glad to have experienced Mexico with y'all. So that's from the champ.
So, Adam,
Yo,
I can tell you right now that honestly, when we got started, we honestly didn't. You almost forgot we were in Mexico when we started doing stuff together. Like when we go to do weigh-ins, and then we go get something to eat, and then we go back to get ready for the fight. It almost all felt like we were here home. Other than some of the amenities, I will say though that transportation. We had one guy that wouldn't stop for red lights at night, and we thought that was kind of different. But and then there was a pursuit. Mexican police were chasing a guys on a motorcycle, and they almost ran over my foot. So other than that, it was pretty much like going to Long Beach, right, Ryan?
ooh.
Pretty much. Same driving tactics I used.
Oh, you haven't been drunk with Fijians, because that's a kind of mode of operation that my cousins use when they might be three sheets to the wind. So just saying, not that I would say do that, but geez, my
Well,
goodness.
it was nice to know on the day we were getting ready to leave, the driver says, "Oh yeah, the worst neighborhood in Mexico is like right over here down the street." And I was like, "Oh, good to know. Good to know."
There we go. That's a little better, a little quieter, and I can see you guys now. Sorry about all the fucking chaos and ruckus, man. I'm just in the middle of a show, and I just wanted to come in and be a part of this. Thank you guys for inviting me.
No, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, Big Surge, you've much like the panel here, have performed on big shows. One that you're doing right now. But how is this different than some of the shows that you've worked previously?
He can't hear
Sir,
us.
Serge, did you get that question?
Nah, brother, you guys are really, really low on my
He
end.
he wants to know how this show is different from other shows that you've done.
Which show? Our show in
The
Mexico?
Fearless show.
Fearless.
Yeah.
Fearless. Oh man, honestly, um, I can't really say that it was too much different. All the moving pieces were moving. Everything that needed to happen happened. Libby did a great job, putting the shit together, and uh, for the most part, we worked as a team. We stayed in our lane and made sure that we brought our expertise to the table just to help make things run smoother. But just like with anything, I've worked Bellator, I've worked some of the bigger venues, bigger promotion companies, and you'll always find things that we could have done better, things that should have happened. But at the end of the day, as an overall, I gave it a fucking A. I mean, she did what she had to do. The fighters had a great time. We had a great time, and just like with anything, you take it for what it is, another experience, a learning experience, an opportunity to contribute to something greater than ourselves.
That's a pretty big endorsement, Big Surge. I'm just saying, that's cool.
We're ready for
Well said,
Fearless 8.
Surge.
Fuck yeah, we're
Hell
ready.
yeah. Let's do it.
Fearless 8. Fearless, hey,
Do it.
Fearless Ocho. Fearless Ocho.
I heard Libby has some big
Fearless
plans
Eight.
for that one.
We all have big plans, so
It
we're all
might,
part of the
hey,
picture.
hey, a hint, it might be driving distance. We're really going to party.
Uh-oh. For real? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. I
We
mean,
got to get Adam
Batiste,
there.
yeah.
Batiste will be our tour guide. He knows where we're going.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Which I mean, Batiste, this is kind of your. I mean, obviously, as a coach, you you know this group, right? But I
Yeah.
mean, being an official is a little bit different, right? So, how is
Well,
this for you?
well, David actually lives a couple blocks away from me, and he actually, I've worked with him on and off over the years, plenty of shows. I've inspected, I've done cut man work. I went with him to referee and judge training. When Camo first kicked off, I was you pretty much every weekend. I'd go to his house. I'd jump in his car, and we'd be traveling all over working fights together. I'm accustomed to the work.
That's really sick. I mean, well-rounded, which made you an integral part of the goings on of Fearless Seven. Uh, now,
Yeah.
two people that are, I mean, it's a family affair whenever they're in. But Beth, sorry, how is Fearless Seven?
Okay, we got one finally unmuted. So we had a great time out there. There were some things that we learned. We improvised sometimes. Really loved that it was family oriented. It was like working with one great big family. And we all took care of each other. And it all came out wonderfully, actually. The whole show, I loved it.
That's incredible, and especially the fact that, again, it wasn't anything too different than what you guys were used to. In terms of what to expect, and who to trust and not trust. Which, in a kind of foreign land, you could have some of that stuff in play, but it wasn't here.
Hey, Adam, I'm having difficulty hearing you.
No worries.
Hold on. Can one
Same
of you guys
here.
mute your mics?
It might be because you guys are so close together, but no worries, no worries. Um, Now, John, in terms of, I mean, you and AJ essentially work the submission on the shore event just a few weeks ago, right? So
Right.
you kind of knew what COVID restrictions were and weren't. So that made you guys integral parts of Fearless Seven in terms of the planning.
Yeah, it's this whole COVID protocol we got going on is something that we're going to have to deal with until I guess everybody gets their vaccines if you're going to get them. That's something we have to do. But everywhere I've been, I've been to Florida, like you said, me and AJ were in Galveston, Texas. It's always a little bit different on what they want us to do. And, it's like I say, I'm not going to stop doing it. I love the sport. If I have the opportunity to do anything and be out there and referee it and help an event and do the best I can and protect these fighters, I'm going to do it, So, it's a great time. And I appreciate Libby giving us the opportunity to come out and be part of the commission out there and be part of the show. And like I said, if anything that comes up, I'm still going to do it. I'll do whatever protocol they need me to do so that we have good officials out there and we can continue spreading the world, some MMA throughout the world.
That's incredible. That's what you absolutely want, especially as an official. So I want to go in terms of I want to go around the table and get. Obviously, this is a hard one to ask because it's almost like picking your favorite baby or child. But maybe not the fight itself, but like what was the best part of the experience for one and only Dave Denkin?
The best part of the experience was just doing a show. I mean, it's been a year, and just being able to go back and do what we love doing, and Libby making it possible and inviting us. And I want to clarify when I say I took my team. One thing about Camo and why I love it so much is that 99% of the people that worked camo with me, anybody could have went. I mean, I grabbed my people that I know usually work with, but I want to make sure that the other camo people know that they were just as possible of going. I mean, if Libby had shows like every other weekend or every month, believe me, I'd be rotating and I'd be putting people from camo to work so that they could keep their skills going. But I think the experience was just being able to get back in there and get the rust off. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was a great show. I mean, usually a comeback show might be a little like, this show, I was a fan. And my referees, my inspectors, I mean, they came through like a champ and they did such a fabulous job that, to me, Libby did great by letting people pay $5 to watch it, but it was worth the $50 ticket.
Yeah, I definitely paid. If I couldn't be there to support in person, I was going to support, and not just because I'm supporting a crew that I absolutely love, but the fact that this is the next kind of impetus for the future stars of women's MMA.
Yeah, well, we might have to do a GoFundMe just to get you there next time so you could report live.
That might be a thing. That definitely might be a thing. Now, AJ, what was your favorite moment of
My
Fearless Seven?
camera. My camera's on. Can you guys see me now? Yeah.
Yeah, we can see you. Oh, let me
Okay.
get.
Favorite moment.
Yeah.
I mean, we were there working obviously, but I was just so stoked to see the smiles and bright eyes under the big lights again. I haven't seen that in a long time live. Everything's been so virtual, so it's really cool to be there in person and see these just that look right before they get into the cage, or that moment when their hand is raised. There's just nothing. So I was stoked to see that in person. The women were just amazing.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And then again, you and John got some bearings just a week before at Submission on the Shore, an all female submission only tournament. So, as somebody who not only refs, but as a female fighter yourself, how cool is it for you to see like the next generation getting the platform to essentially ply their trade in two distinct female only, both submission and MMA cards?
Yeah, I did a podcast a couple days ago, and I was bringing that up because they were talking about hook and shoot. So all these like older cards that were all women based. I was lucky enough to fight on two of them, and it's as in all my memories in fighting, I always remember those the most. Being a part of an all female event, it's truly special. There's a lot of camaraderie. It's just a neat thing. Even as a fight fan in general, if you're just following fighting, female cards are truly special. So anytime I get an opportunity to jump on an all female event, I will do whatever it takes.
I love it. I love it. And it was an amazing contribution that you made both at Submission on the Shore and Fearless 7. Now, also, your compatriot to work both cards is the one and only John Romero. So, from Fearless 7, John, what was your favorite moment, aside from stealing Oreos from Milton Berg Johnson?
Well, see, that's messed up because I didn't know there was Oreos in that house, even though I made the Walmart box. So I'm a little upset about that one. That would have definitely been my favorite moment. But yeah, there was a lot of food stealing going on in the house there, which is cool. It's cool. My family steals food. But as far as a favorite moment, it's really hard to say one moment in particular. Was hard because it was an overall experience. It was my first time in Mexico City, which was really cool. Libby did a great job organizing things and making sure we had what we needed. The athletes, I would say if I had to pick a favorite thing, it would be the attitude of all the athletes there, the way they came out, and the warrior spirit they showed. And they all put their heart out there on the line and gave everything in every single fight. And, people often ask me things like, how can you treat every fight the same? I have a thing that I tell people is because this is the biggest fight that they have ever had. So that and seeing that in fighters is what really did it for me. And that, to me, that was the biggest moment for you all out there.
I love it. Now I know he has to go, so let's get him in here. Big Surge Estrada. Let's get his take on his favorite moment of Fearless Women 7. Let's see. Where did he
All
go?
right. Well,
There he is.
no, I'm here. I just keep putting the phone to my ear because your audio is a little low, and I want to make sure I don't miss anything. But going back to your question, my favorite moment of a Fearless Seven, I can't pinpoint a specific moment. Um, it was a pleasure. It was an honor, and I had a great time the entire night. I think for me in particular, and I've said this several times, I was just on a podcast earlier on with Rachel Blaze. It was a cut person, cut woman, cut man type of podcast. So it was an honor to be on that. And I said it then, I think the whole idea that we're being a part of somebody's journey, and to be able to bring my expertise to the table to give them just a little bit more. I always say this, especially when I work amateur shows, that I'm going to treat my amateurs the same way that I treat my professionals. And they get nothing less. Just because they're amateurs doesn't mean anything to me. The idea that these are warriors, going into a combat zone, giving it their all, just to get into a boxing ring or an octagon, it takes fucking balls. And for these women to display the type of balls or the type of ovaries, that they have,
big ovaries,
giant fucking ovaries, ovaries probably bigger than my head, and then that's a big head right there. But no, in all seriousness, just to be a part of their journey. That's what made it special for me. Every fighter is special in their own way. There were only 2 fighters that I had the pleasure of working with prior to Fearless 7 that were on this card. So, obviously, my relationship with those fighters had already been established. But, I mean, to say that you had 22 fighters, brand new fighters, and I had the blessing of wrapping 13 of them, it's special. It's special to me. So overall, I think everybody else that's already commented on that question. Thank you, Libby. Thank you, Fearless Woman MMA, for allowing me to be a part of it. For giving me the opportunity to come and bring my expertise and my knowledge and my skill set to the table and contribute to part of the team. David Denkin, the Camel Crew. You guys are like family to me. I always say this. I'm always ready to go and ready to teach and mentor and protect. So at the end of the day, just being a part of it all, it was special for me.
Sergio was right. I wanted to piggyback real quick. They made us feel like celebrities over there. And it was funny because jokingly, I'm going to say this, I was the only one that they didn't take a picture with. My staff were getting photos with all the fighters because the fighters were so excited about their presence coming that they made us feel like celebrities. And it felt great to do something like that for these girls who felt like they were up a level. When we did weigh-ins, these girls were like signing bout agreements, and they were like taking photos like they were signing UFC contracts. It was so exciting to them that it made it exciting for us, like
Yes.
Sergio said.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, somebody that has been kind of silent, which is not normal for him, but the Jester, Ryan Spink, what was your favorite moment of Fearless 7?
Family, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt before Ryan starts. I have to get back inside. It's a pleasure. Thank you guys for having me on here, but I got to get back to work.
Bye, Serge. Take
I'll
care.
see you back at the gym, Ryan.
Bye, Serge.
Thank you, guys.
Actually, I loved everything from the moment of takeoff to landing. It was all great. And it's really great to be back in action again, to be with everybody in the team. I think the thing that sticks out the most was it was great to be together, and we're joking around in the house, and everyone's enjoying getting back to work. But I have to say, watching those girls, the moment we stepped into the cage and the bell rang, and like Serge said, to be a part of that journey for them, and to watch the war that they brought. They came in, they started slugging. These girls did a great job. If you see the fight, they came there to perform and to fight and give their best. And it was really great when the bell rang and everyone just dialed in, and to be back in the ring or in the cage again, doing what we do. And that was just great to watch. I don't have the words to describe it. It's been a long time due to COVID, and to see the team back together and then just dial in when it came time to do the show. And Libby did a great job. Really did. The matchmaker was great. These fights, I was pretty surprised. We were there at weigh-ins, and you were looking at some of these girls, and you're thinking, they're too beautiful to be fighters. And then they stepped into the cage, and you just were like, okay, this is going to be a fight. This is going to be a real fight. Great technique. Some of them great standing technique. Some of them really fabulous grappling technique. And you realized, hey, this is a real fight. You got to be on your toes, do your professional job, And it was just great being back as a team and doing what we did.
I love it. Which I miss you guys, man. It's cool to see you guys back in the saddle. Now we're gonna bring in like a mother-daughter duo. We've got Elizabeth and Beth. What was your guys' favorite moments from Fearless 7?
So my favorite part was just all of us being together again, like one family. And second off, experiencing an all-female fight card. I've worked one female fight card before, and that was at the Yost Theater. David, do you remember that?
Yep, that's when Jasmine won her state title.
Yeah. Yep. So it was awesome because we were able to experience Jasmine winning another title again, which is amazing. Jazz, if you're watching, congratulations again. Anything you want to add to that?
It was awesome. And she brings up Jasmine, and I have to say I've watched Jasmine since Sparstar, since the first fight that I saw her fight in amateurs, and seeing her throughout the years and watching her grow and her technique get stronger. This time Jasmine just put that piece of the puzzle together, and the light went off, and it was like, oh my God, this is a different person. She was just phenomenal this time. The strikes, the kicks, everything was just on point. And the beautiful thing was she wasn't scared. There was no fear there. She was smiling. She was happy. She was in her moment, and not just in her moment, but she was where she belonged. And I think finally she's like, yeah, I'm here and I'm good to go. And it was great to see her finally plateau, hit that moment, and then take it further. And that was one of my favorite. Literally, I had tears watching her fight this time, because it was just seeing her cross over to where she's not an AMI no more. She's going to pro now. And I'm so proud of her. Just proud beyond words. And everybody getting together. Seeing everybody, it's like you missed your family for almost a year. And being able to get together and just give them a hug, and then be able to stay in the same house together, and all different stories.
It did feel like a reality show.
Yeah, a little bit like a reality show.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was the star. I was the star, though.
Oh my gosh, yes, David is the star. Well, I don't know why I'm on solo stream, but yeah, David sometimes he'll tell you he's the star.
The funny thing is that we all had a job. I mean, Ryan was like the bodyguard for everybody there. Ryan was our bodyguard, with Batiste and John getting his back. John was the one that tried to be the party planner and us run around. And he was like, this guy was doing so much. I thought I was with a 20-year-old. He was up training in the morning, running around, doing all kinds of stuff. And I think we slowed his roll. We slowed his roll down because of how much fun he wanted to have. And Batiste was chill. Batiste was just hey, let's sit back.
Oh my gosh, we lost David.
Good. He was gonna say something about me.
No. I said
David was giving David was
I
giving
said,
away secrets.
I
David
said,
was gonna throw me under the bus.
I said, Batiste, John. No. John was the party planner. Sifu was our bodyguard, and he's the one that made the intelligent decisions so that I wouldn't cause a train wreck for the event. And Batiste would make sure that we enjoyed everything. Like, I don't know any guy that would literally walk into a house that we've never been in and I'd look like he was at home. I mean, he was chilling hard. AJ, I love the fact that AJ literally made us feel like we were at home. Like AJ was so chill and just like talking to us and bringing us back to the comforts of home during our conversations of different things and that were going on. And then Beth and Tori were like our survival people. They were like, okay, this is what we need to do to get the supplies we need. We need to breakfast at 0800. And I was like, okay, tacos and chorizo. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? So we all had a job. And Libby, I'll be honest with you, Libby, I thought was just having a blast watching us act the way we did amongst ourselves. There is a big difference from going to a show for the day and going to a show for 3 days. And I'm going to be honest with you, I would do it again in a heartbeat. I'm not a big person for flying. As Ryan will tell you, he was my seat partner. And the guy next to me kept rubbing my leg. It was a little annoying. And I have bathroom issues and I had to hold it. But
Why were you rubbing his
Ryan
leg,
made
Ryan?
sure he got me to the bathroom in my wheelchair.
Whoa. You enjoyed it. You enjoyed it. It's the only attention you ever get. It's okay.
That's why I'm talking from my truck away from home right now.
Okay. I mean, it's good to be prideful nowadays. So, kudos to the pride. Now, Super Betis, your favorite moment from Fearless 7?
My favorite moment. I would say once the show kicked off, once the show started rolling. Definitely. I would agree with whoever said that. Once the fight started, it was good. It was awesome. There was good fights. There was good trainers in Mexico. I didn't expect them to be as good as they were. Listening to the coaches and the trainers in the corner, watching them prep the fighters, watching them hold the pads, watching the way I expected them to be all more one-dimensional of what they were doing, but they were pretty well-rounded. Yeah, I'm actually excited to take a bunch of the girls we have down here currently prepping for fights to compete against them. I think it's going to be really tough competition. I think it's going to make for good shows. I've been talking to Libby about it. Of course, if I have my fighters fighting, I'm not going to be inspecting. I'm not going to be on that side of it. But I'm definitely excited, especially the fact that it was awesome to meet Libby, to talk to Libby, to get to know her, because I think we're gonna piggyback off each other nicely for a while. I'm excited that she's going to continue putting on shows. I'm excited to get to go to Mexico all the time now. Yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I was super impressed by the airport. Like I felt it, like everybody was telling me, dude, you're gonna go to Tijuana and fly out of Tijuana and go to Mexico City. Be careful. You're gonna get robbed. Their cartel is there. But like once I got to the airport, we got in. It's just like another airport. I've traveled the world for the fights. It was a nice airport. And then when we flew in, the airplane was a nice airplane. People were telling me, oh, be careful, it's going to be a dangerous airplane. It was a beautiful airplane. We landed in a beautiful airport in Mexico City, and I felt like I was in downtown LA, like I'm peeking through the blinds in this huge Airbnb we were in. And I was like looking outside, thinking to myself, is it going to be safe to go out there? And then I look and there's just like thousands of people in the streets, businesses are pumping, nice cars driving around through the city. And I'm like, I'm going outside. And the food was amazing. I love the food.
Yes, yes, yes.
I wish I would have videotaped the pursuit though.
Yeah, that was funny.
That would have made World Star Hip Hop. You missed your $10,000, the rights that they give for videos. Now, Libby, hearing all of this, right? You are the mastermind that put this all together. Hearing everyone hear his expressions and knowing how hard it was for you to kind of put this all together, how does it make you feel? And then what was your favorite moment of Fearless 7?
Um, I just, it was a blessing. So, with me hearing all this feedback, I am really honored that they had a great time. I really love everyone in that, and that came with us. Like our group, from even working as inspector, you just start to build those relationships and those bonds, and now it's like, we don't feel weird, like being in a house by ourselves. I felt more safe than just being in a hotel room. And then this way we get to even like I learned so much about David Denkin that I had no idea. And it was just great just listening to his amazing stories. It was just with my staff, and then like him telling us about how his upbringing and everything, and just his dad, and just this his line of duty. It was just awesome. And then talking to John and AJ, I had no idea AJ was vegan. And Tori and Beth are so amazing. They at a point, I was really stressed out, and they were there to like lift me up. I really appreciate them, and they're just beautiful women that helped me even become even a better woman today. So, with Beth, she was a cop, man. Like, damn, like this woman's awesome. And
Dang, you just
so she's so strong,
oh
you know.
hey
So she's
Beth, you
strong.
better watch out. She just burned you.
No, but
What the
it's
hell,
like,
Libby? Don't give
it's
everybody my secrets.
yeah, it's
I'm
something that,
kidding.
like you hear it from a woman that is just so strong. And I just have to be really grateful for all the experience. And for them believing in us and believing in our female athletes, and just not being scared to just come to Mexico. My favorite part of it is just the bonding, um, how
Yeah.
we persevered everything that came to us, um, and just seeing the girls. There was a few fighters that said they never got their hands professionally wrapped by professional cutmen or by anybody. Period. It was just very moving that we were giving something to them for the first time. And then for big shout out to Green Athletics, GRN. They actually sponsored the leather gloves, leather MMA gloves to them, and a lot of coaches and female fighters that were just telling me that they never received gloves in in a league before, and so they get to keep. They they We gave them away, but they were just excited because they weren't really like cheap gloves. They were really expensive. So a big shout out to Green for believing in us. And even though we're small, we're growing, and most companies would just be like, "No, it's okay." They actually donated a lot to make these gloves and to make them in a rush, and we actually got them. So I'm very grateful for them to be supporting these female athletes that get to go home with some gloves, and go home with some experience, and to know that they were treated as athletes as how we see them.
That's incredible. Which I gotta ask. So, the $1 million question is there going to be a Fearless 8?
Oh, of course, there's going to be a fearless like 200. We're just going to keep going. Um, we're going to become better, eventually. Like Big Surge said, there's big works. So I can't reveal them yet because can't spoil it. So um, I just want to know who ate AJ's food.
Oh, I want to
Yeah, I
go
know, huh?
there. Of
What
course.
kind of food was
Who's
it?
guilty?
Yeah.
What was it?
It was
AJ,
like pancakes.
It was her
we went to
pancake.
we came in the airport and we were starving because on the airplane there was a couple snacks, but they costed like money, so we were buying like a chip or a soda. And we get there and there's a place called Wings that was open. I'm thinking, man, who wants buffalo wings at 5:05 in the morning? But they sold other stuff. They sold pancakes and eggs and chorizo and all kinds of stuff. So we all ordered, but our rides came to take us to the hotel. I mean, the house. And so we took the food to go. And when we got to the house, we started divvying it up like who's who's. And everybody grabbed their food. And AJ was like, "Where's my pancakes?" And I'm like, "Oh man." And so someone ate her pancakes, or we never got them. But we had a guy named Eugene, Jocelyn's brother, and he was like trying to get on the show, the next great chef, because that dude was like whooping up meals that were like out of this world, tacos, soup, like Thailand soup. And I was thinking, who is this guy? Where did they bring him from? But it was Jocelyn's brother, and so we definitely had our own chef and bartender. He was a bartender too, I think.
Definitely a bartender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah,
Which,
he shared his 40 with me. It was delicious.
wait, a what with you?
His 40.
Yeah. Yeah, beer didn't last long in that house.
Okay. I also know who might have been on the plane ride with you, Dave, and so we figured that out too. So
Oh no.
so just saying. So again, any takeaways? I mean, you guys first time together in almost a year, right? So
Yeah.
what is the biggest like takeaway?
I
I would say that that I'm very happy to know that I'm gonna say it, my camo family, even though not doing camo, we're a family, an MMA family, and we pretty much could pack up and if tomorrow they said, "Hey, we need somebody in Tahiti," I'm sure we would all find a way to make it happen and go referee and judge and supervise and inspect in Tahiti. Um, we are ready to roll anywhere. In fact, I might even start like a mobile service, like MMA team mobily ready to roll out to any country to help do a show.
I mean, he's not wrong. Most you guys been to Belize, Mexico, so I mean, you guys are just kind of dotting off the places to go on a world map. So with the same crew, so not wrong, you know.
Nope. Nope.
So
It was
John,
cool.
John, any takeaways?
Oh yeah, it's a great time. As David has said, the team that went out there, we went to Belize together and everything, and we just all really meshed really well. And we've seen that before, but being in that house together, and seeing how we all behave. 'Cause you can't hide who you are when you're together for 24 hours for 3 days straight. I mean, you kind of can if you're a narcissist, but everybody is really cool. And yeah, it was great to see how everything went down. And seeing a show that's up and coming that has a lot of potential. And people say, "Oh, it's the current fad, the women's right." It's a thing, and it's out there. And seeing that and seeing how great these athletes really are, regardless of the sex they are, that's a big thing that I saw, and it's opened my eyes. Having the opportunity to do a few women's only shows, as you mentioned before, Subs on the Shore, which I'll do again here in April. Fearless, as long as Libby keeps having me, I'll do every show she ever wants me to do. So yeah, it was a great time, and all these things going on. I'm just happy to be able to go referee and do things, be part of this community. So yeah, well, takeaways, a lot of things in there. Great times, great people, and we're going to keep growing. The community's going to keep growing. I just hope I can be part of it as long as I can.
I love it. That's a great mission statement. So love it. Now, one AJ Jenkins, what was the final takeaway from Fearless 7 for you?
Sorry. Okay, I'm here. Takeaway. I can't wait for the next one. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like it. It was hoping you'd say that.
Yeah.
Hoping you'd say
I'll
that.
tell you what. I'll say this for AJ. AJ, you're too humble, but I'm gonna say it. The girls were excited to be around AJ because, as a female, it was like a Me Too moment there with the show. The female promoter, my female inspectors, and my female referee. And one thing that I think the girls really were excited about, taking pictures and being with AJ, because they're used to seeing male referees in this program and not female refs, judges. And, other than my sister, I don't really think there's too many. And AJ, it looked like they were just happy to see a woman engaged as an official at the show, which made it exciting for the young fighters.
Thank you, David.
It's
It was true.
Thank you.
It's amazing. Jester, Ryan Spink, final takeaways from Fearless 7.
I would have to say, honestly, the things that I took away from Mexico was that the whole experience, the whole show was a serious eye opener on so many levels. First, I can't say enough about Libby when she shared the concept and what she has gone through personally to put this show on, and that's her story to tell. In Mexico, it truly is. It caused me to sit back and pause. I mean, there's one thing when you're a promoter, it's another thing when you're trying to do a show like this in a community that's not ready for an all-women show. And for her to promote it, to push it forward, despite the obstacles that have been put before her, I don't have the words. She's fearless. When you see these women and you go down there and you say, hey, we're going to go do an all-women show, and you expect, okay, so what are you really going to get into? And then you see them step into the ring, and these are athlete warriors. These girls, they trade blows. They are there to perform, and they are real MMA fighters. And then, like Batista, you see the trainers, and you see that, yes, they're doing real MMA, and they're doing good MMA. And so you're thinking, wow, if they bring their fighters up to the States, we're going to have some good matches.
Yeah.
And then you watch us come out of retirement after a year of being laid off, and it's like, okay, so how are we gonna function? Are we going to be able to pull it together? And you see how that works. The whole show, the whole experience was an eye opener, all the way from going to Mexico, and like Batiste said, it's just another city. The people there, they're just as friendly. We went out one night, ate, had some live entertainment. People are there. People are just like us. They want to have a good time. Everyone's tired of being locked up at home. Everybody's ready for shows. Everybody's ready to come back out. And it was just great all the way around to see Mexico, to our team, to see the fighters, to see the level of MMA. And I just thank Libby for putting it all together and opening our eyes to the fact that there's MMA in Mexico, and it's real MMA. And all I got to say to the people training in Southern California, hey, if these fighters come over here and start jumping in these camo events, you better realize you need to take them serious, because these women they're coming to make a point.
Yeah. Ryan's right about that.
Yep.
In fact,
Yes.
also, they couldn't believe that we brought a big white guy that speaks fluent Spanish. Ryan was like the talk of the town because his lingo was. I was like, Ryan, they're looking at you like, what the heck?
It wasn't that good.
It was great.
You did.
Let's just say
I was
that
on
it was
a
good
mission
enough.
trip.
It was good enough to get some good food. That's all.
You know what? Sometimes that's a virtue, especially in this situation. So, yeah. And just to kind of get into the dais, Jasmine Tapat Queen Pouncy says, I'm glad to have you guys a part of my journey. Jaws Fuller's brother's nickname was 40 Ounce, which... okay. Yeah.
Surprise.
There you go. And all right. Harvey Cass, shout out to Harvey. He says, I already got a message yesterday from a fighter who wants on the next Mexico card. So that's great. Oh, and speaking of Mr. 40 Ounce, shout out to the Fearless Commission. Y'all did a phenomenal job in taking the show to another level. So incredible. Incredible. So, Super Batiste, final takeaway from Fearless 7.
Uh, that my final takeaway was like applause to Libby. It's awesome. I feel like MMA, amateur mixed martial arts in California is starting. It even though it definitely was in Mexico, but I feel like that was kind of a kickoff for the sport to get rolling again. So my I was grateful for it. I was excited to be back in the mix of fighting and fighting rolling, because there was like a 15-year period where every weekend I was at fights, whether inspecting or training or cornering somebody who was fighting, and it went on for 15 plus years every single weekend. And then when this whole COVID thing hit, I was depressed. I was like, the whole fight game for me outside of the big major fights, but the big major fights for me have always been like once every few months, you know what I mean? And the only way we were able to get fighters to that next level was starting them from the ground here. So this is what was producing our high level talent, and then it just completely disappeared and it was gone. And I'm like, everything was on hold, and I felt like the cycle was broken. You know what I mean? Who's going to be the next generation of champion when we're not working on them now? You know what I mean? So I've always been like really dedicated and heavily involved in amateur mixed martial arts, because from that is what comes your next level fighter. And to be part of this show, I had a sense of relief, like, okay, the ball is starting to roll again. And it's awesome that it was Libby and an all women's show too. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Tori and Liz, your final takeaway from Fearless 7.
I was just great for everybody to get together again. Extremely grateful for Libby putting us all together. Um, Extremely grateful to be part of an all women's thing. It was pretty cool watching nothing but females be able to compete. There was no cattiness. There was no arguing or anything like that. These girls were just ready to perform and do their job and put on a great show.
And the amount of respect they had towards one another was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Libby, did you get your final takeaway from Fearless 7? What did you learn? What was it all about as we sit the week after?
I mean, what I learned to be a better promoter, and every show that I do, I get better. I learned that I could rely on my Camel family to have my back at any time, and to have these fighters back. Um, Part of the mission that when we decided to make Fearless Woman, even though I'm beloved and hated in Mexico because of, I'm a woman doing this. Um, it was to bring this talent that just stays in Mexico. I want people to know who they are. I want people to know who their story is, and they're not afraid to fight at all. They fight with all of their heart. They will take any match, even if it's a higher weight level or weight division. They'll take it, even if it's under. They'll take it, and that's the type of fighter that they are. Um, and so that's my main mission, is to show that these women can. Just because I had the support that I can also. So as long as I'm living and I'm going, just be expecting that these women are going to be seen in the UFC, in Bellator, Invicta, and not just not just staying in a area where it's just their country. We want them to know that anything's possible, and this is the American dream. I want them to experience the American dream, and also just have that ability to inspire another female growing up, another generation, um, because their generation will soon be my age, and there'll be young girls. So there's a movement going on in Mexico. If you don't know, a lot of women are speaking up and using their voice now. They're no longer afraid. They want their voices to be heard, and they want justice for a lot of things that's happening. It's kind of like the women's right, that happened here probably about, I want to say, 40 or maybe 50 years ago. But now it's like, now Mexico, it's their turn to have these women, these leaders step up.
Yes, and I mean, Jaws Fuller saying, if I never fight for another organization again, that'd be okay with me, because Fearless is the future and the now of the entire sport. Period.
Thank you.
Yes, and
Thank you. Thank you, Joss.
William Tovar saying, let's go, Libby.
William.
Shout
William's
out to you.
amazing. Him and I, we trained jujitsu. We were under the same gym. But then when he moved, you have to go to like a new gym because it's so far. But William is amazing. He's an amazing real estate agent. If any of you guys want to, contact him for any advice. But he took such great video and footage of these women, and that was his goal, is to show them how powerful they are. So thank you, William. Thank you so much for believing in us, and thank you for being a part of Fearless. And I hope that you continue working with us, and we're just moving to the top.
Excellent. I love it. Now, last but very not least, and for those who actually want to disclose this information, because some can't, but where can everyone find AJ Jenkins on social media?
What would you ask me?
Social media.
My social media, it's AJ Jenkins 22. It's on Instagram. And then
Yes.
on Facebook, it's just my name on Facebook.
Incredible. John Romero, where can they find you on social media, good sir?
On social media, you can find me on Instagram at Romero1371.
Excellent. Tori and Liz?
So she doesn't have social media anymore.
Okay.
But you can find me on Instagram at Antitori.
Excellent.
And where there's Tori, there's Beth.
Yeah. Yeah. So you, good sir, David Denkin, where can they find out more about you on the interwebs?
Facebook is pretty much what I use. I used to have an Instagram, but I got rid of it because it got confusing. So, I mean, Facebook, but everybody has my phone number. It's on the bathroom wall.
Oh my gosh.
For a good time.
for an MMA lead inspector, call David Dinkin.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Seafood Ryan, where can they find you, good sir?
That's my pimp, Ryan.
Oh, nice.
He's the one that wrote it on the wall.
You can find me. Oh my gosh. Best place to find me these days is I have the social media, but the fastest way is just to get me at Cobra Kai Victorville, right there on Instagram.
Yeah. Super Baptiste, for you, good sir.
You could find me on Instagram and Facebook. It's at super_Batiste.
Dang right. I followed him. You guys should too. And last but very not least, Libby Canela, CEO of Fearless Women MMA, the one who brought all of us together. Where can they find you and Fearless on the social media and the interwebs?
Well, let me give some information. So, if you're trying to have be part of our next card, uh, message Miguel Rendon. For those who are in Mexico, si quieren estar en la carta que vamos a tener Fearless 8, mándenle un mensaje a Miguel Rendón. En Facebook es Miguel Rendón, and also Instagram is Miguel Rendón TFA. And also, if you're here as a American fighter, message Harvey Castellano. So you could find him at Harvey Cast, I believe. But if not, I always tag him on Fearless Woman MMA on social media. So you guys could go to those pages. I'm trying not to have any woman left unturned. So I'm trying to just see who there are. So I don't want to miss them because I know many of them are messaging. But you could also find me at Libby Cinnamon and Instagram, Facebook, Libby Canela. That's Libby. So
Just in case they skip that day on Sesame Street. Libby. Absolutely. Well, folks, I know you guys have a litany of things to get to. It looks like John Romero either has the shake weight or the slap chop, one of those things. So he's got to get back to that, as well as you guys. So we will return you to your regular scheduled programs. But thank you guys for joining us here at According to Woods. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I mean, these guys are all subscribed, right? You guys are, right?
yes,
Right.
Absolutely.
we are.
Absolutely.
Now I could go home.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And again, I wouldn't be here if these ladies and gents hadn't stuck me onto shows when I didn't have credentials. So a hearty thank you to each and every one of you guys. So if not for me, if not for them, there would be no me. So again, we'll catch you later. And again, if you don't believe me for subscribing to the According to Woods podcast, well, here's Pro Wrestler Zeta Zhang to convince you.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure you subscribe